Berserk, unanimously agreed on as being one of, if not the greatest mangas to be out there, and not even just manga, but media in general. Berserk has had heavy influences in a lot of things that I've enjoyed, and maybe a lot of things that you've enjoyed. If you're just a fan of dark fantasy, Berserk is a must read. And if you aren't really a fan of dark fantasy and like character-driven stuff, Berserk has that as well. If you're a fan of Dark Souls or any of the Souls series games, especially with the newest game in that series being Elden Ring, then yeah, read it, please. It's a fantastic read. It is a little long, but it goes by in a flash. And Kentaro Miura, fucking rest in peace, man. It's still unbelievable, but he made something absolutely amazing and something that I am so addicted to read over and over again. And though I'm not completely finished with the story, it's probably not going to be the first time that I read through it. And I'm going to definitely enjoy this series. But as much praise as the manga gets, and for good reason, one thing that doesn't get a lot of praise and something that is quite unfortunate is the adaptations. The 1997 anime series was good and was honestly a good starting point for the series. Of course, it was pretty early into the Berserk phase. I think it was only barely touching the halfway point in Conviction when it was airing, so it kind of stopped. And during the run of the anime series, you can tell that budget was playing a big factor in its development because a lot of aspects were reused, a lot of animations were redone, and of course, when coming to some action scenes, it was taking some panels out of the manga and colorizing them and adding a weird VFX to it. But it got kind of better by the end of the OVA. And during the Eclipse is when it's at its peak. Artistically, it's fucking traumatizing. Still, the Eclipse is a really tough subject to animate and even talk about, especially now. But yeah, the OVA 1997, pretty good starting position. It wasn't particularly bad in any regards. Of course, it did cut a little bit of the stuff, and you could tell budget again was an issue. But overall, doing its job in adapting one of the biggest and most highly rated arcs in Berserk and all of manga, the Golden Age arc, it did it pretty well and was pretty faithful to the source material. And then comes the movies, the 3 movies, and it kind of gets mediocre, but it has some really good aspects, but also builds up on some of the unfortunate building blocks that the other series that shouldn't really be talked about kind of develops into. The movie series does cut a lot of corners in some of the character development. A lot of the small moments between Guts and Casca is completely just gone from the movie. And you'd think, since having 3 movies, it would really faithfully adapt all these little small character moments that would grow these characters and show their blossoming relationship. But instead, it really cuts a lot of it out and kind of makes the romance between Guts and Casca, which is one of the biggest elements in Berserk, might I add, kind of underdeveloped and really just kind of rushed. But other than that, it's fine. CGI is there, and my god, is it not that great, and I hate when CGI is used, but it can be used effectively. But sometimes, such as the movie here, most of the time it's not really used great. But overall, the movie series, for what it did, is okay, but a lot of the character development that was seen in the manga and even the 1997 anime series is just gone completely, on top of many other things. But if I was to get into those, it would be a much longer video. And now is the black sheep, but I guess there wasn't really many other good sheep in this adaptation list. But yeah, 2016 Berserk is a fucking atrocity. Whoever decided to go fully CGI, and especially not even great CGI, it is awful, deserves to just be fired. I feel bad because I've heard a lot of the development stories behind Berserk 2016 and just all the fucking development hell it went through, going 2D animation and 3D animation and just kind of mixing it together, kind of like X-Arm. Oh god. Berserk 2016 is fucking awful. And also, the Dragon Slayer, one of the biggest iconic things coming from Berserk sounds awful, like a pot clanging around, and it feels weightless. Something that is regarded as like a slab of iron looks weightless and sounds awful, and it just makes a lot of the fight scenes, despite the CGI already making it look awful, sound awful. And though it did cover something that we haven't seen before from anime adaptations, covering the Conviction arc and the Millennium Empire arc, it is really terrible and really kind of just left the brand of Berserk, especially regarding an anime adaptations, just kind of left them with a sour taste in their mouth, which comes to the main reason of this video. I don't think Berserk is ever honestly gonna have a great anime adaptation. There has been decent and okay adaptations, but there hasn't been like a godly one, and that's honestly terrible to say, and I feel bad saying it, but just look at what's happening recently with Elden Ring's popularity. A lot of people that are riding the Elden Ring wave of popularity are looking back towards what Elden Ring has been influenced by and finding Berserk, and a lot of people on Twitter are voicing their frustrations towards the series, claiming it as too violent, on top of other things. So I just don't think Berserk in this day and age, at least with an anime adaptation that is gonna go on TV and air like weekly, is gonna happen. Maybe if it does like a Hellsing Ultimate thing where it just comes out whenever it does, it's like an OVA in 10 episodes, boom, there you go. But given how vast Berserk is, that would take forever. But at least with Hellsing Ultimate, they were getting away with a lot of edgy shit, and the gore was there. So if Berserk was ever to have a good anime adaptation, I think it would probably be beneficial if it did it that way, because there hasn't been an adaptation for Lost Children ever, and given the source material in the manga, it covers a lot of dark shit. We're seeing Guts at his most evil in this mini arc, and a lot of the images shown are a little horrific, especially with the kids in the war scene. If you've read the manga, you know what I'm talking about, and just the overall antagonist of the mini arc in general being, well, a kid. Yeah, I just don't think that would go well if it was ever to be dropped today. So if it was ever adapted into an anime, it would probably be really censored, and at that point, is it really Berserk? I don't want to see something just that I really enjoy and what a lot of people enjoy being censored and kind of just becoming unrecognizable. A lot of the appeal for Berserk is its dark aspects, and yeah, though it does get lighter with later arcs, what a lot of the charm that a lot of people have for Berserk is just in the earlier arcs and just how dark and gruesome it can get. But if you've read Berserk, you know that is not the best thing about Berserk, and then it's the little things and just watching Guts grow and just how deep every character is, and just seeing Guts trying his best to live in this world and try to find peace in it is one of the best thing I've ever fucking read ever and seen ever. Guts is a truly incredible character, and if again it was ever censored heavily, I don't think it would ever just be Berserk and the story that I love. And it's just unfortunate that these adaptations just don't get it right, and we don't have something we can truly just say is great. The 1990s anime again gets the closest it can be, but for right now, I just don't think that Berserk will have a great anime adaptation in this current day and age. And I feel if it were to come out uncensored, just it would be great for a lot of us, but it would also get heavy backlash, and that wouldn't really solve much. So if you guys want to have any aspect of Berserk in your life, read the manga, support Kentaro Miura. Fuck man, it sucks that such an incredible artist is gone. And even before I read Berserk, I was a heavily fan of Dark Souls and the Soul series in general. So even not reading it, it had heavily influence on my life. And yeah, I thank him for that, because I spent so many hours in stuff that he influenced. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. If there ever is an anime that really adapts it well, then this video will become irrelevant, and I would be happy for that, honestly. Yeah, leave in the comments below what you guys think of Berserk and its anime adaptations. I know a lot of people do like the 1997 anime, and yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm back into talking about anime and shit on the channel. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Always like and subscribe to show your support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. So adios.